Kai Cenat opened applications for Streamer University, and within days, multiple rappers turned it into one of the most embarrassing public meltdowns the internet has seen in a minute. We've got threats, we've got grown men flat out begging on camera, we've got a rapper launching his own university out of spite, and we've got fans openly telling their favorite artists to sit down and stop. Today we're breaking down exactly what happened, why this got so messy so fast, and what it says about where rap and streaming culture actually stand right now. Let's get into it. Quick context for anyone not deep in this world. Streamer University is Kai Cenat's program for discovering and developing new streaming talent, giving people a real shot at building a following using his platform and audience as a launchpad. It's already helped introduce some of the biggest names currently in the streaming space, so when Kai opens applications, it's a genuinely big deal, both for actual aspiring streamers and apparently for some rappers who've been trying to make the streaming transition without much success. So when Kai dropped the announcement that applications were open again, it set off a scramble, and not the good kind. Soulja Boy went first, and he went hard. Instead of just applying like a normal person, he started publicly threatening Kai on camera, saying that if he didn't get accepted into the program, Kai was going to deal with him for the rest of the year, accusing Kai of favoring other streamers over him, and warning him not to bring on certain other creators again. The tone wasn't playful banter either. It escalated into genuine hostility, with Soulja Boy going back and forth about loyalty, calling people out by name, and essentially trying to pressure his way into the program through intimidation rather than just submitting an application like everyone else. Fans picked up on it immediately, and the reaction was not in his favor. A lot of people online pointed out that a successful, established artist publicly threatening a streamer over a free educational program just doesn't read well no matter how it was intended. While Soulja Boy was going the aggressive route, Finesse 2 Times took a completely different tactic, straight up pleading. He got on camera, essentially asking Kai directly to let him into Streamer University, framing it as something he genuinely wanted for the summer, hoping the personal appeal would land better than threats. It didn't really land better. If anything, clips of him asking outright went just as viral, just for a different reason. Instead of looking aggressive, it read as visibly desperate, and the internet treated it accordingly. Here's where the story takes its wildest turn. When Kai didn't respond to Soulja Boy the way he wanted, Soulja didn't just drop it. He announced his own competing venture, branding himself as essentially the founding dean and professor of his own version of a streamer program, positioning it as something bigger and better than a regular cafeteria experience built around teaching confidence to new streamers. Whatever you think of the execution, you have to admit the audacity is impressive, going from publicly campaigning for entry into someone else's program to announcing you're starting your own rival version within the same news cycle. It became its own viral moment almost immediately, with plenty of people more entertained by the spite-driven business pivot than the original threats. Here's where the story shifts from funny to really critical. A real backlash started building, with people pointing out that these are established, famous, financially comfortable artists taking spots and attention away from actual up-and-coming streamers who don't have a platform, a fan base, or money already. People who genuinely need this kind of opportunity in a way these rappers don't. The criticism got pointed. Commenters were openly asking why established, famous artists needed to compete for a developmental program clearly meant to help people without an existing audience build one from scratch. And notably, this wasn't just outside critics. Some of these rappers' own fans were telling them directly to dial it back, saying the public begging and threats were doing more damage to their image than staying out of it would have, not that was forced. Polo G handled this whole situation differently, and it's worth highlighting because it shows there was a calmer option available the whole time. He went online and explained calmly that he wouldn't be applying for this particular Streamer University cycle, saying he'd consider a future one instead. But even his more measured response slipped into some real talk midstream. He candidly admitted that as someone newer to streaming, getting only 160 concurrent viewers while going up against things like live NBA games is a genuinely hard spot to compete from. And he was honest that he's still very much in the up-and-coming phase of this himself, not pretending otherwise. It wasn't dramatic, but it actually gave a more honest look at why this transition is hard for rappers in general, without resorting to threats or pleading to get there faster. DJ Akademiks weighed in with what's probably the most useful explanation in this whole saga, and it's less about ego and more about basic math. His point was simple. Streaming success requires a massive time commitment that most rappers underestimate completely. He's put the bare minimum at 100 hours a month of actual streaming and pointed out that someone like Kai Cenat has reportedly put in 2 to 4 times that pace during his biggest pushes, some estimates floating as high as 400 hours during peak stretches. His broader point was that having millions of Instagram followers doesn't translate directly into streaming success because streaming rewards a completely different kind of consistency, daily, grinding, often unglamorous hours that a lot of already successful artists simply aren't used to putting in for something new. That's a real, structural explanation for why rappers keep struggling with this transition that has nothing to do with talent or personality and everything to do with habits. Here's the bigger picture worth sitting with. Rap and streaming culture have actually been intertwined for a while now in a positive way. Plenty of streamers and rappers have genuine mutual relationships, and streaming has become one of the real avenues for music discovery, with songs blowing up specifically because of moments that happen on stream. There's nothing inherently wrong with a rapper wanting to build a presence in that space. The problem isn't the goal, it's the execution we just walked through. Threatening the gatekeeper, begging on camera, and reactively building a spite-fueled competing brand are all approaches that undercut whatever credibility an artist is trying to build in a completely new lane. Polo G's calmer, more honest approach, acknowledging the grind is real and he's still early in it, is frankly a better long-term look than anything Soulja Boy or Finesse 2 Times did this week, even though it generated far fewer viral clips. So, real question for you. Do you think rappers trying to break into streaming is actually a good look for their careers, or should some of these guys just stick to the studio like DJ Akademiks basically suggested? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear where you land on this. Like this video if this whole saga had you entertained. Subscribe for the next update if Kai actually responds to any of this directly, and I'll see you in the next one.